Hey traders, Jason here from Levitt Brothers. In this video, I'm going to just run through some trade examples. Okay, I highly recommend everyone do this. Okay, some people call it a playbook. I just call it a library. I grab my trades in whatever time frames I'm operating. I grab snapshots. I put them into folders. I mark them up. And then once in a while, I go through them and I flip through them and I train as part of like training my eye to see the setups. So I highly recommend you do this. Do them for all your trades. Do them for trades you miss. Do them for trades that don't work so you can kind of learn the nuances. It's part of the process. I've said 1,000 times, the keys to trading are find a trade that works, find a trade that fits your personality, practice, get good at it, build your skills, and then once you get good, you can size up and start making real money. And part of that process is to start clipping example trades and studying them. All right, so I'm going to go through some examples. This is how I operate. I don't expect you to be the same, but you could probably grab a nugget or two from me. And, you know, I've grabbed from other people. You can grab from me. And the key is just find something that works. Find something that fits you and something that you could very easily execute. All right, let's get through it. All right, here's Amazon. Okay, not the greatest setup. It was trending up here. We had higher lows, lower highs. This is an updated chart with, you know, updated information. So at the time I was looking at this symmetrical triangle pattern, it was well off its lows. So that adds to the risk. Plus, you know, considering what was going on in the market, that the market's been not really following through much. There's been some trades to be had, as you'll see in this video, but not a lot of great trades. But anyways, at the time, Amazon was one of my top setups because it was acting better than most other stocks. So let's zoom in over here to what I was looking at. This is one of our trades at Levitt Brothers. All right, let's go to the 60-minute chart now. So here's the 60-minute chart. Up top, obviously, is the price action. We got RSI, MACD, and stochastic below. So what I was looking at, okay, and this is that area that I was keying in on. So what I like to do is I find trend lines drawn on the RSI are very telling. When those trend lines break, we get some good signals here. So as Amazon moved up, then it was consolidating. I can draw a nice trend line on the price chart. We had this one dip here, which is really good because it dips and then recovers, and that establishes at least a stop initially. We got a breakout on the RSI. We got a cross up on the MACD, and the stochastic was already moving up. And as you can see, stock moved up, found support at the 21, found support at the 21, found support at the 21. Then notice as it pressed higher, the RSI broke down over here, okay, but it kept pressing higher. The MACD flattened out here, such that the histogram actually formed a negative divergence. Like, you know, the momentum slowed, so the two lines here couldn't expand against each other. So that was kind of a little bit of warning. So as Amazon was pressing higher, you're starting to get signals here that it's weakening, and then you had a trend line here. So going in, if you're long the stock over here, you're looking at, hey, this thing might curl down, this thing might break down over here. Stochastic had gone up, probably going to curl down. Because the 21 held here, you're saying, all right, I'm going to put a stop below the 21. Unfortunately, as you can see here, the stock gapped down. Okay, so you just got to cut it loose. I wish it would have opened flat and chopped around and started moving down slowly, and the 21 could have come up and met it a little bit higher, and you could have had a clean stop there, but unfortunately it just gapped down, so you just got to cut it loose. That's just the way it is. That's the way the current market is. But still good signals over here on the left side, where we had the RSI breakout, MACD cross up, and the stochastic also trending higher. All right, let's go to the next one. Here is BPT. Okay, so oil stocks have done well, but I haven't found there to be a whole lot of good stocks to trade. A lot of them have just kind of grinded higher, and a month later they're up 10 or 15%, but there weren't a lot of good entries. So BPT came out of a base here, as you can see, rolling bottom, moved up, came down, tested, and ramped up again. Nice strong volume. Then it's pulling back, finding support at the 21. So let's zoom into this area here and see what kind of trades are apparent on the hourly chart. So here's the hourly. This kind of highlights one of, kind of what I look for in bottoming patterns. Here we got a rolling double bottom. Then it comes up, consolidates, and then goes from there. So my favorite trade to play off a bottom is this consolidation. Okay, there's a sequence of events that take place in the double bottom, and then you get the consolidation. The consolidation holds the gains, and then it goes up from there. So let's look at some of these indicators. So RSI, we get, that's not the greatest trend line, but we got a trend line there and a break, and another trend line there and a breakout. For the MACD, we get a cross at a really low level, then we get a kiss here and another kiss here. And the stochastic, we get a double bottom and a cross up here and a double bottom and a cross up here. So the combination coming out of the double bottom, we get this cross, this kiss, this trending higher, puts the stock in play. I didn't play that one. But again, my favorite one is, let it break out, let it run up a little bit, let some volume come in, let it prove that it, let it, show itself as having strength. And then it's the second move that I like to play. And here we get another breakout, another kiss, another cross here, and then we get a nice ramp up there, and, for a decent trade. Another double bottom here, boom, boom, and then consolidation, and a lot of similar stuff. Plays out. Whoops. And then, so here we got, trend line break here, there. So we got trend line break, cross up here. Now notice we got a kiss here on the downside, which is fine. I love, first move up, we get a kiss there, but then the second move up crosses it. So that's great. So we got a breakout here on the RSI, that crosses up, that's already trending up. Then in the consolidation area, we get a cross here, we get a kiss there, we get a cross there, so everything lines up, and now it's this is a live trade for us. It hasn't gone very far. I'm not going to cherry pick all the ones that did incredibly well, but as you can see, it actually did move up. All the signals are there, so you take them. There's not that many great trades to be had if you're a trend trader right now. So you take what you can get. All right, here is CDLX. Stock's done incredibly well. We did not profile it until it was over here wedging. Okay, so obviously the stock moved up out of a low here, consolidated here, broke out, wedged. This is another one of my favorites. Breaks out, consolidates for a few days, or pulls back to a key moving average, and then I want to play the next move. So let's zoom into this area here, see what it looks like on the hourly chart. This is what it looks like. So this is the breakout from the wedge. Obviously not, you can't see it here because I don't have the chart backed up enough on the left side, but that's the breakout, and then this is the consolidation pattern. So looking at the consolidation, I draw trend lines on my price chart, as you can see. So it moves up, consolidate for a handful of days. Let's look at the indicators. This came out of a base here, as you can see, moved up, came down, tested the middle line, and then moved up from there. So decent sequence. The MACD did what I would consider to be an ABC, where it moves up, down, and then up. I like the sequence of boom, boom, boom. Okay, so notice here, and we got a cross here, and then a kiss, and then it goes, and then of course the stochastic, if you know my material, is more of a timing indicator. Okay, so to me, you got first cross here, and this is trending up, and that's this move here. Then we can consolidate sideways. It holds the 21. Okay, and then so you get a move down here, and then a continuation. You get the kiss here, and you get this here, and then that's a great signal. I mean, this is a fantastic stock that's doing really well. This sequence of with the indicators all lining up like that is a great, it's a great sequence when everything lines up and everything crosses at approximately the same time. So you get a good entry here in the low 14s, and obviously it's done really well since then. Let's move on. So here's Tesla. At the time, this is one of my top stocks. I drew an Andrew pitchfork here because I can't draw it live. So my plan here, I was watching it here, okay, and I felt at the time the stock was acting very well. It had pretty good relative strength. It was doing well, just acting well. You can kind of sense it. So I was looking to play a move from the middle of the pattern here up to the top trend line here. I actually played it with TSLA, which is the leveraged version, but Tesla was the one that I profiled at Levitt Brothers, so I'm going to zoom in here. So let's zoom in over here to see what the indicators were looking like, to see how we could have gotten an entry. All right, so here it is. So this is the first consolidation pattern, and then this is the second consolidation pattern. So as the second consolidation pattern was forming in the middle of the range, everything was looking really good. Okay, pattern was tightening up. It had moved sideways long enough that a lot of the moving averages had flattened out in the middle of the range. The RSI had some free-flowing action. It had an obvious trend line that could be drawn. MACD was hard to read because there was no momentum over here, so the MACD was just flat in the middle of its range. Stochastic was acting well, flowing up and down, giving us signals if you want to trade really short term. So everything was looking great. The stock breaks out. This breaks out here. MACD starts to expand here. Stochastic starts trending up here. Unfortunately, the move happened with a big gap up. The stock got upgraded, and the stock gapped up. And if you don't feel comfortable chasing it, then it just becomes not playable at that time. It's just the way it goes. Everything was there. The setup was there. The indicators were there. Everything was ready to go. If the stock could have opened up, over here and slowly moved up, we would have gotten a really good trade-off. Unfortunately, it gapped up from, the high 240s all the way up to 265, and it didn't really pull back that much, so it wasn't like it moved up and then came down and gave us a second chance. It just basically moved up and has been mostly flat for the last week. So it is what it is. Great setup. Everything was there. Hard to play. It's still on my list, but it happens. All right, let's go a couple more here. So here's Carrier Global. Stock moved up, obviously, with force here. You got like a falling pattern there. Breaks out, runs up, comes all the way down, tests the 50. So as it comes off the 50, we have a resistance line here near like 56. You can see it goes up to 58, a little bit higher, comes down, tests the previous level, 56 and the 21, and then moves up from there. So let's zoom into this area here and see what kind of trades you can get off on the 60-minute chart. So here is the 60. All right, so here on the left side here, this was that pattern that was consolidating. Okay, it moved up to 60. This is a base. As you can see here, it moved above 60 a little bit, or 56, not 60, came down, tested the 21, and moved up from there. The RSI was it wasn't hard to read, but I would have preferred for it to, trade here, consolidate, and then to where I could draw a trend line, and then when it made its move, it would break out. Instead, it didn't really do that. Just the way it goes, not everything is perfect. It did come out of a little bit of a base, but it wasn't that great. So the first move was kind of hard to read, and when you consider that it started here and then broke, breakouts over here, in today's environment where, I don't know, if the market's acting really well, you could chase a breakout a little bit, but in the current environment, I don't think chasing a breakout's the greatest idea. So sometimes we miss some entries that turn out to be good, but that's just the way it goes because you just don't get a good entry. So here, you got to cross up in the MACD. Here's where your best entry is. You got to kiss there, and then a breakout here from the little flag that's forming, and then from a timing standpoint, the stochastic had cycled down and gone up. So the combination of stochastic over here, MACD kissing there, this breaking out to a new high, that's your best entry in this area. Stock pushes higher. Let me get rid of that stuff so it's easier to read. We got a breakdown here, negative divergence over here, cross. So this takes out a support level. This crosses after the negative divergence fall is formed, and then you get across down here. So you get some sell signals in here. If you want to give it a little bit of room, you could, but then on this particular day, obviously it opens up and then just goes down, 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 and you're going to get stopped out probably at 57.5, and at the worst, you're going to get stopped out at the 21. It's just the way it goes. Not a bad trade, especially in today's environment. You get a couple points, you get a couple points. It's not too bad. Looking to the right, RSA comes out a little bit of base. You get a positive divergence there and a cross, and then you get a cross here. So you get some more signals to go long over here, and then you get more sell signals as it breaks down here, flags, and then breaks down again. So in this market, you don't want to overstay a trade. Get in, have a tight stop, take a couple points, and move on. But this was a nice trade. Signals are there, and stock was strong. All right, last one here. So here's Carvana. Okay, everyone is talking about this stock's probably not going to make it. They're going to go bankrupt. Their business model doesn't work when interest rates are high, and all the stock has done is go up 1,000% this year. Just kind of shows you just follow the price action. That's where everything's at. So lots of patterns here. We've played this one at Levitt Brothers several times. Because breakout over here, huge volume over here in May, move up, consolidate, move up, flag, move up, consolidate, move up. Just everything is there. You got not huge volume bars. Everything looks great. So let's zoom in over to here. Stock had moved up. Obviously got very volatile. Volatility is a sign of a top. Comes down, finds support at the 50, finds support at a previous low. So we're going to zoom into this area here in August to see, this was a Levitt Brothers trade. Our first target was 45 coming out of this base, and our second target was 50. And and as the stock was trading, we realized it was acting so well, we actually put a third target up here at 55, which got hit last week. So let's zoom in. But notice first, big up day, big down day, big up day, big down day, big up day. That's kind of tough because in this environment, I don't want to just chase a breakout when the low of the pattern is 37 and the high is up near 42. That's too big of a, in a strong market, I'll chase that. But in the current market where you're just not getting that many great trades off, that's kind of risky. So anyways, let's zoom in here. So there's the breakout from that up, down, up, down, up, down that I just highlighted. Hard to play because RSI was very loose. Okay, as you can see here, MACD rolling up and down in the middle of its range. The price is hard. It's hard to trade this when this range is so big, and this isn't a huge range, but it's a big range to play when the market's not acting well. The RSI, not easy to trade when it's rolling up and down that much. I'd much rather it be kind of tighter, kind of like this, where you can get a decent breakout closer to a low. So hard to play this first move. If you played it, great. If you didn't play it, you can always just stand back and say, well, let's see what else forms. Okay, sometimes you get a big, you get a move up and then you get consolidation, and the second move could be just as fruitful as the first. So let's zoom over. Let's look over to the right to see what else formed. Stock pulled back, RSI trending lower. You get a trend line break there. You get positive divergences here with the MACD. So you get a cross here. You get a cross with the trend line break. Stochastic pressures building there. You get a cross there. So if you miss the first trade just because this is too loose and too wide of a pattern, keep watching it. Sometimes you get a pullback to trade. Oftentimes you do. If the stock is healthy, the market's healthy, which it's not right now, but if a stock is healthy, you're going to get more than one chance. So we got really good signals here at the end of this week in September. Stock moves up, comes down, moves up again. Even if you played the first one and then you got out over here because RSI broke down, MACD curled down, stochastic was already moving down. The 21-day moving average was support there. Then the 21 gets taken out there. So even if you play over here and then get stopped out over here, that's just trading. Okay, I'm not going to like cherry pick only stocks that went up like 20%. Like this is a stock that had the potential to do very well, but it only ended up making us a couple points. That's just the way it goes. All right, so this video turned out to be a lot longer than I thought. Hope you get something out of this. Create a trade library, grab example trades, the ones you do, the ones other people do, the ones that you could have done. Look through them in order to train your eye to see these. And if you can just train your eye, then you'll be able to see them in real time a lot better. Because again, the ultimate goal is find something that works, find something that fits your personality, practice it. Okay, this is a performance activity, skill-based performance activity. Practice, get good, build your skills, and then once you get pretty good, then you can start to size up. All right, we'll see you next time.